The reason is quite simple. I just really didn't want to do it. Yeah, it's pretty plain and simple. I just didn't want to do it. Some people think it was because I had sorority stuff. Nope, I didn't. Some people think it's because I'm in school. I am in school, but it wouldn't have been an issue. I just didn't want to do it. And that's a good enough answer, and that's a good enough...
Yes, she would shame the girls. Kenzie still calls her stomach Bob. It's terrible. I mean, she would always, touch her stomach. She would tell Nia she has flat feet. And she was like, Maddie, what's wrong with your teeth? And, she made fun of Chloe's eye, Brooke's sway back. I mean, Brooke doesn't have a sway back. She just was very flexible. So that's how she stood. She always made fun of the kids.
We need to talk about Nia from Dance Moms exposing Abby Lee in her new book, because this isn't just old drama being recycled, it's way deeper than that. Fans are losing it after reading the things Abby allegedly said to Nia, and it's got everyone pointing fingers not only at Abby, but even at Nia's mom for not pulling her out sooner. Things are heating up fast, and we're breaking down exactly what Nia revealed, and how her mom clapped back after those claims. Now, it's been a while since Dance Moms had everyone talking, but remember that reunion special that aired on Lifetime? Yeah, the one where some of the biggest names were totally missing. Maddie, Kenzie, and Nia were all no-shows. But here's the twist. While they skipped the cameras, those three actually met up in private before the taping. Fans loved seeing the old crew together again, proving that some friendships really did survive the chaos of that show. Still, it wasn't all sunshine. The reunion stirred up drama when fans noticed that Kalani and JoJo weren't part of that private get-together. Word is they were feeling a little salty during the taping, and let's be real. In Dance Mom's world, feelings always turn into fireworks. When people asked Nia why she skipped the reunion entirely, her answer was short and real. She just didn't want to do it. And honestly, that says everything. The reason is quite simple. I just really didn't want to do it, she said. Some fans tried to guess it was school or sorority stuff, but Nia shut that down fast. Nope, I didn't. I'm in school, but that wasn't it. I just didn't want to do it, and that's a good enough reason. Straightforward and unapologetic. But even with that boundary, Nia made sure people knew she's still grateful for the show and what it gave her. She said she'll always appreciate the opportunities, the friendships, and the platform that came from Dance Moms. Almost every interview I've done, she explained. When someone asks about the show, I always say I'm grateful. It's where I came from. It's how I got my start. The reason I have such an amazing life now. And hearing that confidence from her, you can feel the growth. I love my life, she said proudly. I have a fabulous life, and I'm truly enjoying it.
The dance costumes, that should have been canceled. I know, sure. Starting off strong with my first solo costume. This was pre-show days. I was 7 years old, and this routine was titled Natty of the Jungle. The story was, I was a little girl raised by monkeys in the jungle. Canceled. Next, we have this costume. I didn't think that this was controversial until someone brought it to my attention recently. The name of this routine was Bound. And I was like, you know what? Whatever context that comes in should just be canceled. Canceled! The last one for today. This is quite something. I don't know what the name was on the show of this, but this was called Free at Last. And I'm just gonna let you guys take it from there. For more stories behind the costumes, get my book, Bottom of the Pyramid, out November.
Even after everything that went down, she's still standing strong. And now that her book is out, it sounds like she's finally ready to spill what really happened behind those studio doors. Nia has always said she's grateful for Dance Moms, but now that her memoir is out, we're learning just how much she had to push through to stay that way. Her new book, Bottom of the Pyramid, a memoir of persevering, dancing for myself, and starring in my own life, peels back every layer of what really went down behind those studio doors. And some of it is honestly disturbing. One of the biggest bombshells Nia drops? She claims Abby Lee Miller actually tried to bribe someone not to work with her. Yes, bribe. Nia says that when she started working with music mentor Aubrey Day, Abby went off. According to her, Abby stormed into the room in front of the other girls and offered Aubrey $10,000 to stop working with Nia completely. Can you imagine? Nia says she broke down crying and ran out of the studio after that happened. And get this, the whole thing was caught on camera. But when it aired, it was totally chopped up. She believes producers edited out most of it because it made Abby, and maybe even the entire show, look too bad. That's insane, but not shocking, right? The idea that they'd protect the brand instead of a young girl being mistreated. It's just heartbreaking. And honestly, it's no wonder so many of the Dance Moms girls have since spoken out about how toxic production really was. Nia's story lines up perfectly with what others have said for years, that the adults cared more about ratings than the emotional toll on those kids. But that's not even close to the worst part. Nia's book also reveals the racial bias and cruel remarks she says Abby made toward her over the years. And the examples she gives, they'll make your jaw drop. In Bottom of the Pyramid, Nia recounts a moment from season 2 when she wore braids, a style fully approved by production. Yet Abby still made comments on camera saying her hair looked awful, and even compared it to a log sticking out of her head. That's so wild and humiliating. And it gets worse. Nia recalls another time, one that never made it to air, when Abby allegedly asked her, "Don't you wish you had white girl hair?" Nia says she was shocked.
If you're being manipulative by trying to deflect the issue onto me, the issue's not me. This is Nia's story. Bottom of the Pyramid is her story. Do not invalidate her experience by trying to shift the blame on her mother. Shame on you. You should be embarrassed. That is such an ignorant low blow, and it's so inaccurate. This is about someone who did not do their job. No one was hired to be evil or cruel. So let's get something clear. I'm grown. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe anyone anything. And guess what? Nia's grown too. She doesn't have to ask anyone for permission to do anything. But what she wanted to do was share her story because so many people have had questions. So many people have been touched by her experiences, and she wanted to share because she knows other people can identify and relate, and she's not alone. But what we're not going to do is manipulate the truth and a narrative to fit your own agenda because you don't want to hold certain people accountable. That is something we're not going to do. So in case you forgot, I take my cues from my kids. I've been silent. I don't need Dance Moms. I don't need to talk about it. As you can see, I very rarely ever talk about it. This is Nia's story, but I have to come out every now and then to remind, we're not going to take advantage.
But stood her ground, telling her flat out, no. Abby allegedly pushed back, saying, "Oh, really? You don't think it would be easier?" And Nia, strong as ever, said again, "No." She writes, "It didn't matter what she said. I knew I didn't want to be white. That's power right there." But Abby's comments didn't stop there. According to Nia, they got even more personal and hurtful as the show went on. She claims Abby started making comments about her body, and at one point even said black people were physically predisposed to having flat feet. Then, during a correction, Abby allegedly told her, "If you don't point that foot, I'm gonna come out there and break it." Like what? That's not tough coaching. That's intimidation and cruelty. These stories are shocking, raw, and painful to read. And it's no surprise fans are finally seeing just how much Nia had to endure behind that TV smile. Nia's book goes even deeper, and what she shares about Abby's behavior is honestly shocking. She writes that Abby constantly picked on her feet during dance practices, claiming she had bad feet, and then took it to a whole other level by saying something that left everyone speechless. Abby allegedly believed that black people were physically predisposed to having flat feet. She'd even say, "Well, you know, your people have flat feet." Can you believe that? Nia said the comment struck her as ignorant and ridiculous because, as she put it, she knows plenty of black dancers with perfectly arched feet. But instead of correcting her own bias, Abby apparently doubled down. She actually threatened Nia over it, saying, "If you don't point that foot, I'm gonna come out there and break it." That's beyond cruel. That's flat out disturbing. And it didn't stop there. Nia also opens up about how Abby's body shaming got out of control. She says that during season 6, Abby made nasty remarks about her thighs in the dressing room, implying she was fat and not working hard enough. Abby reportedly used those kinds of comments to paint Nia as lazy or weak. And sadly, both viewers and even some castmates bought into that narrative without question. It's heartbreaking to think how those constant jabs could mess with any young girl's confidence. And this isn't the first time Abby's been called out for body shaming. Melissa, Maddie, and Kenzie's mom even said in a YouTube video that Abby had a nickname for Kenzie's tummy. Like, what? That's not coaching. That's cruelty disguised as tough love. Then there's the part that had everyone's jaws on the floor. The choreography. Nia says some of the routines she was given carried clear racial undertones that made her deeply uncomfortable. One of her early solos before the show even aired was set to a song called Natty of the Jungle, about a child raised by monkeys in the wild. Her next solo at just 8 years old was to Satan's Little Lamb. Like, who gives that kind of routine to a kid? Nia explains that at the time, she was too young to see the racial implications. She was just excited to perform. Her mom often confronted Abby about the themes, but sometimes had to hold back so Nia wouldn't lose her chance to dance. Still, looking back, Nia says those moments made her feel isolated, uncomfortable, and singled out. Not just as a dancer, but as a person. And then there's that pyramid, the infamous ranking system that Dance Moms fans will never forget. Nia says being stuck at the bottom week after week became symbolic of how she was treated, overlooked, underestimated, and forced to work twice as hard just to be seen. That's exactly why she titled her memoir, Bottom of the Pyramid. It's like she's reclaiming what that position meant, turning her pain into power. Nia makes it clear that while Dance Moms might have been just reality TV for the audience, for those girls, it was their real lives. They weren't acting. They were kids caught in a machine they didn't understand. What started as a small project about their dance studio turned into a national sensation. But for them, it was also years of pressure, judgment, and emotional scars that fame could never erase. Let's be real. There's no way the things Abby said and did on Dance Moms would fly on TV today. The way she talked to those girls and their moms was straight up harsh, and it's wild to think that so much of it aired without anyone stepping in. We all remember Abby yelling, turning teammates into rivals, mocking their looks, and body shaming kids like they were grown adults instead of little girls just trying to dance. And honestly, what makes it worse is that none of this feels shocking anymore because we saw it. The girls have been speaking out for years about how much it affected them, and even some of the moms have said Abby wasn't always like that. Apparently, before the fame, she was nice. But once the cameras started rolling and the show took off, she turned into this over-the-top character version of herself, one that thrived on drama and control. Hearing all that, especially now with Nia's book out, it's just heartbreaking. And it's even more frustrating when you see people like JoJo Siwa still defending Abby publicly. Like, yes, Abby helped launch some careers, but that doesn't erase the pain others say they lived through. Both things can exist at once. Abby gave opportunities, and she created an environment that left emotional scars. The success stories don't cancel out the trauma. A lot of people online have also been calling out the moms, asking tough questions like, why didn't Nia's mom pull her out sooner? Or, how could you keep your daughter in that kind of situation? And guess what? Nia's mom finally addressed it. She's been seeing the comments ever since the book came out, and she's not ignoring them anymore. She explained that walking away wasn't that simple. Contracts, cameras, and producers made everything more complicated than people think. It's easy to judge now, but back then, no one really knew how dark it would get. Meanwhile, Nia herself has been taking control of the narrative, posting videos showing some of her most questionable old dance costumes. And wow, she's not holding back. She called it dance costumes that should have been canceled. And let's just say, she's right. In the clip, Nia starts strong. Okay, my first solo costume. I was 7. The routine was called Natty of the Jungle. Storyline, a little girl raised by monkeys in the jungle, canceled. Then she laughs and moves to the next one. This one's called Bound. Didn't think it was bad until someone pointed it out. Now? Yeah, canceled. And then she drops the final one that had everyone online gasping. This last one. I don't know what it was called on the show, but it was titled Free at Last. I'll just let y'all take it from there. The silence after that said it all. She wraps it up by teasing more stories behind those controversial looks in her memoir, Bottom of the Pyramid, out November 4th. And honestly, if these are the previews, you know the book is gonna shake the internet. Now, things took an unexpected turn when readers caught a part of Nia's book that mentioned her former teammate, Kendall. And the internet hasn't been quiet since. In one chapter, Nia writes, "I remember another teammate, Kendall, who joined the team back in season 2, rolling her eyes whenever she found out we were paired for a duet together. To see firsthand that someone didn't want to dance with me really stung." That one line set social media on fire. Fans flooded Kendall's comment sections asking, "Why were you rolling your eyes when you had to dance with Nia?" People are saying it showed how isolated Nia truly felt back then, and honestly, it's heartbreaking to read. Of course, no one knows for sure why Kendall acted that way. Maybe it was just teenage nerves, or maybe she was scared of getting the same treatment Abby gave Nia on camera. But whatever the reason, fans aren't letting it slide, and the reactions have been intense. Some are defending Kendall, saying the whole show forced competition between the girls, while others feel Nia's moment of honesty just exposed how deep the favoritism really went. What's clear is that Nia didn't hold back this time. She's naming names, pulling receipts, and finally telling her story in full. After years of silence, she's standing in her truth and reclaiming the narrative that reality TV twisted for so long. So what do you think? Was Kendall just caught in Abby's chaos, or was it something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I need to know what side you're on. And if you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this story's far from over, and you don't want to miss what comes next. See you in the next one.